Well, hello to all my wonderful YouTube fans. How are you doing today? Well, thank you for tuning in today's awesome vlog. If you're curious on what I'm doing today in my bedroom, I'm going to be putting together a switch combo outlet to kind of show you how to wire it and also how to hook it up the proper way. Of course, what are we going to be using for this project? We're going to be using this switch outlet. Basically, it's a combo switched outlet. Okay? And I already have a couple wires attached to it, like, of course, the ground wire. And also, I made a mistake by breaking this little tab on the side. I had to make a jumper wire across this to on this side. And what are we going to install it in? The outside single gang box. And how are we going to power it? With nothing but a outside old extension cord cable right here. That is 16.3. You should be using 14.2 wire for this type of outlet, but it should work perfectly fine if you're not going to overload it, and if you're going to use it for one application, is to light up lights. Let's go and show you how to wire one of these outlets together, shall we? Before we start wiring this switched combo outlet together, it is a couple things I want to warn you about. This is dangerous if you don't feel comfortable with working on electrical projects. Please don't do this yourself. Have a professional electrician do it for you, in case if you don't understand how any of these ports and things work. What are we going to use for this project today? Well, of course, we're going to need a extension cord with a coupler to tie into the gang box. It's basically this little guy here for the cord to fit into the single gang box. Of course, we have one thing, a bond. Bond the box. Make sure it's 100% safe. This is an outside rated gang box. This is an outside rated plastic cover for in use with different extension cords. And also you're going to need this plate for your outlet. If you're curious on what this plate does, it just sits like that and covers up the extra screw. Of course, you're going to need your screws, a wire nut, and also some electrical tape to wrap around all the Owen various openings, contacts, and stuff on the bottom. Alright, let's talk about tools, shall we? I talked about the materials, but now it's time to talk about the tools themselves, basically. And we're going to explain what tools you're going to need. Of course, you're going to need a multi-screwdriver like this one. It has all sorts of different flathead bits and Phillips bits. Of course, a good pair of wire cutters and strippers. A X-Acto blade knife to cut the cable itself. Wire cutters. A Phillips screwdriver. This is called a stubby one. I like this little one. Also, a measuring ruler, in case if you want to measure how much cable needs to be inside the box. And also a Sharpie as well. And of course, you might not need this, or you might need it. Get a multimeter to do some testing on your equipment. And also some type of outlet tester. Alright, let's go ahead and wire this bad boy up and show you how it all works. It's pretty simple and very easy to do, but be very careful when building these things. Alright, before we get into getting everything wired here, let's talk about the outlet a little bit right here. Alright, we have your hot, your neutral, and your ground. Okay? This is called a polarized plug. You can see one's bigger than the other. Okay? Got your switch to turn stuff on and off. Over here, we already have a ground cable. Okay? Two hots. Could go here, two different types of circuits. Now, you notice this jumper wire is going to the output of my switch. And the neutral cable is basically like that. Alright, first things we're going to do is we're going to get the cable you choose for this project. Put it inside the box. I've seen multiple times people kind of do things with different switches and different outlets. But really haven't shown you that much about wiring up the Owen style switches and outlet combos. Now, get this all screwed in nice and tight. Once you get all that, we're going to put the wire net on. Alright, time to take all of my ground cables, every single ground, and we're going to tie them all together. Alright. Twist those bad boys together, just like that. The ground, main ground, and the ground coming from the box, and the ground going to the switch. Take a wire cap, go ahead and tie that up nice and tight. And if you want, you can put electrical tape around this nut to keep it from coming apart. Now we have two more wires left. We have your hot and neutral. I'm going to say that for the last wire. Let's go ahead and take my neutral, hook it up to the screw, and make sure you don't put the cable too tight around that screw. You want to make sure it's nice and tight. Really tight. No loose connections though. Okay? Alright. We do got a bit of a issue though, but I'll fix that off camera. Now the last cable is, of course, the much fiddly one, is my power cable. Ah, fuck you. Sometimes these cables can be quite fiddly. Now, I am working with stranded cable, not solid cable. You should be using solid for this style project. Okay. That cable. Oh, now, screw this bad boy in. And that. Well, that's how you got it. Everything hooked up. Okay, before we button this all back up, let's go ahead and add some electrical tape on the wire nut and also on the plug itself. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about how you wire this. You got your neutral going on this side, if you can kind of see it. Okay, neutral on that side. Okay, and we flip it on this side. Got your hot lead coming in this side. Got the input lead going on that side and the output lead from that side. Now, notice these are disposed, and this is a metal junction box. And of course, we have everything nicely bonded. And basically, now what we're going to do, let's get some good old electrical tape right here. And we're going to cuddle this up. Now why? Is for extra safety and extra precaution. Couple wraps of electrical tape won't hurt at all. Basically what you're doing is you're covering up the disposed screws and terminals on this outlet combo. Now don't need to worry about that one there, because that's just your ground screw. Once you put some electrical tape there, you can just basically pop it off. It's a bit of a challenge, but it does work. Normally I use my nips for that. Alright. And I will put the electrical tape around that as well. Look at that. How safe that is. Awesome. The next thing we need to do is go ahead and put the cuddle on the outlet itself. Okay. Basically, you can tuck these wires gently inside the box. Doesn't matter which way you want it, but I'm going to go ahead and flip this down like this. Making sure everything is nice and pretty inside of this box. Sometimes you might have to fiddle around with the wiring a bit. Get that all down. And put the screws in. Yep. I almost forgot something. I'll put this little silly plate cover TV in. Now, once we get this all saturated, I'm gonna do this screwing down off camera, and we're basically almost done with this project. Sorry for wasting your times, YouTube fans, but basically I was making a switch combo outlet for that light over there, my work light. Basically something failed, and apparently the switch is no longer controlling the outlet. I am not buying one of these switched outlet combos again. I'm just gonna basically just make it a little different with just a wireless switch with a wireless outlet. Let's show you. It does work, but it doesn't tone on and off like it should. Basically, this is the switched outlet right here. Little combo switch. You know, on off, right? It doesn't tone on and off. Means the bottom outlet's hot all the time. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to have to tear it apart and find out what went wrong. But basically, I made it for this to able to tone this light on and off. Well, let's go ahead and plug it in and show you what it's not supposed to do. Interesting. Alright. Well, we got power, but it's supposed to be turned off. Apparently something failed. Doesn't matter if I control it. Doesn't do anything. Kind of disappointed. But I don't know. Yeah, you're living your life, right? Yep. There's my light. It's supposed to be on, off, but nothing happened in tubes. I can't get it to tone off. Alright, basically, I'm gonna just throw the switch combo away and just build it however I choose. But if you're so guys and girls are joining this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Please like, please share. Peace out. Bye guys and girls. we'll hopefully see you in the next vlog. I do apologize. I don't know what happened and why it decided not to work, but I gotta investigate.